I wanted to talk about the conversation going on with Bleach Rebirth of Souls and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I've seen a lot of people comparing these two games. I want to give my 2 cents as somebody who loves these animes equally, dude. I think that they're very phenomenal animes. I think they do things in their own right, and I'm ecstatic to be able to see that they're going to have 2 games, one for Sparking Zero and one for Bleach. We're really going to be in the best timeline if Bleach ends up being really good. I have high hopes for Sparking Zero just based on the demos, and I think it's going to be very, very solid based on the stuff we're seeing. But Bleach, we obviously haven't seen much. We've seen about 2 minutes. Most of it was story and going into some of the different cutscenes. We don't know if that's in-game rendered. We don't know if it's like a side cutscene and stuff like that. We really don't know what it looks like in terms of what it's going to actually play and feel like. And so I think these comparisons are a little quick, right? It's a little too soon to say any of this type of stuff. And I think some of the different things are a little disingenuous when we're talking about graphic quality. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was the actual comparison to the competition. A lot of people say these games are going to compete to each other and they're going to take one for another. I really think if you're an anime fan of both of these, you're going to play both of them. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I think Bandai Namco knows this. I think they're very smart in the way that they do things. Obviously, they're just a publisher. We're talking about 2 different devs as well. But I think they're going to strategically place the release dates in a way that makes sense, right? So obviously, if Bleach was coming out very, very soon, it would probably already had a release date. So it gives me an idea that it'll be kind of in a slower period for Sparking Zero, maybe between a patch or a DLC or something like that. And it'll come out, kind of gain all that traction, and then it'll kind of go into its slow period. Sparking Zero will have a DLC, bam, bam, boom. And then they'll kind of play with each other and flirt with each other for however long they're around. So I think they're going to be very good at giving them breadth and a way to kind of fluctuate between both where you're not feeling kind of overwhelmed to have to play both. And I think it's going to be very, very good for anime gaming fans in the future, dude. I think we're cooking. And I think a lot of people are getting a little too quick to be pissy when we've been in such a drought with anime games. And we're finally seeing a point where we can have 2 big ass anime IPs with 2 big ass quality games. And we could really see the future if these games do well to showcase to Bandai that this is the quality and this is the shit we want to see. Now, obviously, like I said, it's a little too early to say with Bleach. We don't necessarily know 100% what the quality is going to be. So I won't kind of like harp on that too much in terms of like buying it and stuff like that. But Sparking Zero seems like it's going to be very, very good in quality, and the combat looks amazing. We'll have to see about online, bro. That's the only thing right now that I'm super hesitant about is the netcode online. If that shit's ass, I don't know what to do. But Bleach, from the different things we've seen, it looks very grounded. It looks very arena fighter-ish, right? So I definitely think that's the genre they're going for. We obviously know it's going to be a 3D fighter, so it's, you know, kind of a given. It's going to be arena fighter. I know people say arena fighter shit. I think you guys are tired of bad arena fighters. I think you guys are so tired of it because there's so many quick turnarounds for these anime IPs with just shitty arena fighters. When there's a good arena fighter that comes out, people like that shit and they have a lot of fun with it. Now, do I wish they kind of went in a different route sometimes with some of these IPs and gave them a little bit more breadth, like a Kakarot approach or a Fighters or something like that? I definitely do. I think they could be a little bit more creative with it. But if they're going to make arena fighters again and again, at least make them top quality and go with just more development time to make these shit a little bit more fleshed out. If that's the route you're going to go, at least make them fleshed out. So I have high hopes for Bleach. But let's talk about some of the other comparisons in terms of the graphics. So I've seen a lot of people talking about graphics in these 2 games. So I'm not going to lie to you, Sparking Zero looks better, right? It just does look better at this point in time. But this is where I think it's a little disingenuous because it's hard to say when you have a 2-minute trailer on a game and then you have a lot of demos on another game to get an idea of what these games are going to look like. Now, do I think the finished product is going to be Sparking Zero Bleach? Yes, this is what it's probably going to be. But the fact that Bleach is like right here to the Sparking Zero is phenomenal to me. It's such a big jump in what we've been able to see in this drought these last couple of years. The fact that it could be so close in quality. Sparking Zero is made for the newer gen stuff. Bleach is going to be on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and so on. And so obviously there's going to be some different things that they have to kind of sacrifice to be on an older console. They're just probably trying to make it more accessible because Bleach isn't as well known as Dragon Ball and they just don't have as leeway, and they're trying to kind of get into it after about 12 or 13 years of not having a Bleach game, bro. We went from nothing to basically having a pretty high quality game if this ends up panning out the way that I hope it does. And so I think we're going to be in a good spot. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about it being a mobile game, like basically the way it looks, right, is being a mobile game. And I think in 2024, being like mobile bad is kind of a weird take, to be honest, because I have a gacha channel. I play gachas all the different times. And I think that a lot of the quality of these games have gone up tremendously in 2024. There's a lot of mobile games that if I showed you gameplay, you would not think it's a mobile game. In fact, I'll show you a little bit right now as we're talking. There are games on here that do not look mobile, right? They have good cutscenes, they have a lot of fun, they have some different combat mechanics, and they don't look like they're from a mobile game. They have good PC clients, they have console clients, they have mobile clients, and they all do very well with optimization, and it just showcases how well and how much mobile game has actually gone. I would say mobile game usually has about a PlayStation 4 graphic era for the ways that it looks, and that makes sense with Bleach because Bleach is on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and so on and so forth. So it's obviously going to be very similar, and so I don't really like to take that mobile bad. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like gacha aspects, and maybe that's why they say mobile bad, because they don't want another gacha game when they just want to kind of play full price and be able to kind of compete and do all that different stuff. But in terms of graphics, I definitely think that Bleach is setting a standard of what we kind of want to see with some of the different stuff on some of these, like, I don't want to say lower IPs, but the, you know, non-Dragon Ball IPs, right? The ones that aren't going to be baby because Dragon Ball is the baby. You know what I mean? Dragon Ball is going to get some stuff, you know, Fighters, Kakarot, even Xenoverse when it came out. I know people dog on Xenoverse too, but when that shit came out, it actually looked pretty good, man. Okay, and I still think it looks pretty good. There's some cutscenes, like newer cutscenes in Xenoverse 2 that looks really, really good. So, you know, bash on Xenoverse all you want, but I think Dragon Ball typically gets a lot of quality games, and some of the other IPs are kind of pushed to the wayside, right? So I think Bleach being up here to even be next to Sparking Zero in terms of some of the different quality, I think is such a good win for us, and I think it's such a good kind of precedent that hopefully we're able to see if these games do well revenue wise, to show Bandai Namco that we want we just want some good IPs and we want them to be quality games. If you're gonna do arena fighters, I get it. I know a lot of people don't want the arena fighter stuff. They want, you know, maybe a Kakarot stuff for like Bleach or One Piece or whatever. You know, I totally 100% get it. I know you guys want to go different routes. You don't want to keep playing arena fighters, but I think a lot of people are just sick of bad arena fighters. They're tired of that kind of stuff, and I think if we're able to put a lot of money and effort into quality, then a lot of people wouldn't be too upset with getting an arena fighter every once in a while with hopefully, you know, a single player game on different IPs and stuff like that, as long as they're able to kind of go back and forth. So I really hope that Bandai Namco learns from this. And I think the comparisons between the graphics are a little too early to tell, and the comparison between gameplay is definitely way too early to tell, because we don't even really know what type of game Bleach is going to be totally. We obviously know it's going to be arena fighter. There's a couple of clips showcasing some of the different things, but it's only like 20 to 30 seconds. We have no idea. It looks pretty crowded. Obviously, it looks pretty good in terms of like being able to have a nice weight to it. But again, we don't really know. There's not really too much to go off. We have a little bit of aerial combat from the Steam gift that I was able to see. And other than that, we don't really know what the dynamic's going to be. Is it going to be aerial? Are you going to be able to knock people up? Obviously, there's anime fights in Bleach that were aerial. There's stuff that was grounded. So it's really hard to say what's going to happen. Are they going to have in-game transformations? It kind of looks like that, but we don't know. We're going to have to kind of check it out. So I think it's a little early to be comparing these games. I know a lot of people like to do that, especially if you're a hardcore fan of one or the other. You really just want to be represented, and you just want to be talked about, basically, especially Bleach fans who have been kind of hiding in the dark before, you know, their anime got kind of a reboot and kind of refresh basically into the next animation and the next manga section. And then obviously just going into a new Bleach game, bro. The fact that I can even say that in 2024 is wild to me. So I'm going to be eating. I don't know. You guys could hate Bleach and you could hate Dragon Ball, but I'm going to be eating, bro. I'm going to be playing Sparking Zero day one. I'm going to be playing Bleach day one. And it's all going to happen on this channel. So make sure to subscribe if you guys want to see more. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Peace.